All right, let's dive into this because it's a story that's got me thinking. And trust me, there's a lot to unpack here. So Atlassian, the Aussie-American tech giant, just flipped the script on everyone. Remember how the finance world was basically writing them off as the poster child for tech companies doomed by the AI revolution? Yeah, well, they just proved everyone wrong big time. And personally, I think this is one of those moments where we need to step back and ask, what does this really mean for the future of tech and AI? Here's the deal. Atlassian CEO Mike Cannon-Brookes had a rough start to the year. His net worth took a $7.2 billion hit. The company laid off 10% of its workforce, and investors were panicking that AI would make their software-as-a-service SaaS model obsolete. I mean, think about it. If AI can replace developers and streamline teams, what's the point of tools like Jira or Confluence? That's the fear, right? But here's where it gets interesting. Atlassian didn't just survive, they thrived. Their latest quarterly results show a 35% surge in share price, a 28% jump in revenue, and a swing back into profit. What's the takeaway here? In my opinion, it's not just about surviving the AI wave, it's about riding it. What makes this really interesting is how Atlassian positioned themselves. Cannon-Brookes wasn't just sitting around while the world predicted their downfall. He was investing heavily in AI, including their own AI agent, Rovo, which saw a 50% growth in users this quarter. Here's the thing. AI isn't just a threat to SaaS companies. It's an opportunity. And Atlassian seems to have figured out how to turn it into a competitive edge. But let's be real. This isn't just about Atlassian. It's about the bigger trend of how companies adapt to disruptive tech. What many people don't realize is that the companies that thrive aren't the ones that resist change. They're the ones that integrate it into their DNA. Now, let's talk about the layoffs. When Atlassian cut 1,600 jobs earlier this year, it was framed as a move to reinvest in AI and enterprise sales. At the time, it felt like a desperate play, but in hindsight, it looked strategic. Personally, I think this raises a deeper question. Are layoffs in the tech industry always a sign of failure, or can they be a necessary pivot? In Atlassian's case, it seems like the latter. But here's the catch. They're now building a $1.4 billion tower in Sydney, the tallest timber hybrid building in the world. Talk about mixed signals, right? On one hand, they're cutting jobs. On the other, they're investing in a massive physical presence. What this really suggests is that they're betting on a hybrid future, one where AI complements human work, not replaces it. Another detail I find fascinating is how Atlassian measures success. Instead of focusing on traditional profit figures, they've always used custom financial metrics that strip out employee share payments and one-off costs. Now, they're changing how they handle those share packages, and suddenly, they're projecting a full-year profit for the first time since 2016. This isn't just accounting magic, it's a shift in strategy. And it makes me wonder, are traditional financial metrics even relevant for tech companies in the AI era? Maybe the old rules don't apply anymore. But here's the kicker. Despite all this success, Atlassian is warning investors that revenue growth is set to drop by half next year. So, is this just a temporary high, or are they setting realistic expectations? Personally, I think it's the latter. They're not hyping up unsustainable growth. They're acknowledging that the AI revolution is still in its early stages. And that's smart. Because let's be honest, the AI landscape is still chaotic. Companies like OpenAI and Anthropic are releasing game-changing tools, but no one really knows how it's all going to shake out. If you take a step back and think about it, Atlassian's story is a microcosm of the tech industry right now. It's not about whether AI will disrupt. It's about how companies respond. Do they see it as an existential threat, or do they find a way to leverage it? Atlassian's move to develop their own AI tools, reinvest in their business, and even build a massive new headquarters shows they're betting on the latter. And so far, it's paying off. So what's the big takeaway here? In my opinion, it's this. The companies that will thrive in the AI era aren't the ones that fear it. They're the ones that embrace it, adapt to it, and find ways to make it work for them. Atlassian just gave us a masterclass in that. But here's the question I'll leave you with. as AI continues to reshape industries? How many companies will follow their lead, and how many will get left behind? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm curious to hear your take.